Britain helped build the ECHR, it was quiet for decades, and then the Human Rights Act made it suddenly relevant. But the real question most of us quietly have in our heads is, does this court in Strasbourg actually overrule us? Like, a lot. Because if you listen to certain commentators, you'd think half the government's time is spent being told off by European judges waving clipboards. So let's walk through the actual numbers. First surprise, hardly any UK cases even reach the ECHR. Here's the recent pattern. In 2022, 327 applications. In 2021, 379. In 2020, 249. And in 2019, 313. On the surface, that sounds like a lot. But here's the twist, 95 to 98% of these get thrown out before the UK even needs to pick up the phone. Yup. Most never leave the waiting room. They're dismissed because the issue is trivial, domestic courts already handled it properly, there's no real rights violation, or the applicant hasn't used UK courts first, a big no-no. So in almost every case, Strasbourg goes, yeah, no. Next. And the UK government pays nothing. Not a penny, not even the cost of a coffee. Second surprise, the UK barely loses any of the tiny fraction that do go ahead. Let's look at a nice, calm, pre-Brexit period, 2009 to 2021, around 50 judgments involving the UK. Only 18 found a violation, 32 said the UK did nothing wrong. Break that down per year, 4 to 7 wins for the UK, 1 to 3 losses. And a couple settled or discontinued. That's it. A country of 67 million people, with millions of court decisions every year, loses 1 to 3 Strasbourg cases annually. If that's being bossed around, then honestly, I'd love to see what being left alone looks like. Third surprise, compared to other countries, we're basically the teacher's pet. A little league table moment, France regularly racks up 10 to 20 violations a year, Germany loses more cases per head than we do, Turkey, 100 to 150 violations annually, Russia lost so many it was kicked out. Meanwhile the UK sits there, quietly minding its own business, occasionally being told, "Oi, fix this tiny thing," and then going back to sleep. It's like being in detention for forgetting your maths homework while the kid next to you is setting fire to the lockers. Fourth surprise. The cost is hilariously small. Let's be generous and say, 10 cases a year need actual legal work, legal defense costs £300,000, £700,000, compensation totals £10,000, £50,000, admin tops out at £100,000. Total, £400,000 to £850,000 a year. Call it $1 million, just to be dramatic. To put that in perspective, the Home Office loses more than that down the back of the sofa. An average government communication campaign costs more, it's 1/700th the cost of the Rwanda plan. It's less than the cost of running one medium-sized NHS trust stationery cupboard. If you imagine the UK as a household, the annual ECHR bill is basically one takeaway pizza per year, delivered by a court that mostly tells us we're doing fine. So, what's going on? Why does it feel like we're always losing? Short answer, headlines, politics, and a handful of very emotive cases. We'll get into those properly later, but the vibe is, a single controversial deportation blocked. Huge headlines. 10 uncontroversial wins. Silence. It's the old story, when something works normally, nobody talks about it. When something annoys a minister once, it becomes a national crisis. But the numbers don't lie. When you zoom out, the picture is almost boring. Very few cases ever reach the ECHR. Almost all of them get dismissed. The UK wins most of the rest. The cost is basically pocket money. Other countries get slapped far more often. Yet somehow, we're the ones who think we're being victimized. It's like complaining you're constantly being fined by the council, only to discover you've had one parking ticket in 12 years, and it was your fault anyway.